Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Pace, and welcome back to everyone who has already subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. I'm honored to have first-time guest on the show and the 2022 National NCAA Division II National Championship Wrestler at 149 pounds, Noah Hermosillo. Noah, welcome to the show, champ.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to know, did I get your name right?
Yes, you did.
It's
You
a
killed it.
successful interview off the. You laughed when I said your name, so I was like, oh, maybe I butchered it. Welcome to the show, champ. We're going to try to cover quite a bit. I'm honored. You're only the second Division II national champ to ever come on the program, so very thankful. Luke Martin, who's currently fighting for 247 Fighting Championships, a local Pittsburgh fighter, won out of Fairmont State a couple years ago and has been on the show. Other than that, you're the second ever, so I'm really honored. You won in 2022 for Adams State University, which was your true senior year, ended up being your junior year of eligibility due to COVID. But you were also a four-time Colorado State qualifier and a one-time Colorado State champ in your high school, and you were coached, assistant coach by your dad. Let's fast forward. What was high school wrestling all about? What's kind of the highlight from it? And then how did you go from high school wrestling in Colorado to Adams State?
Probably the highlight of my high school career was definitely winning the state title. I grew up wrestling, big wrestling family. My high school head coach, he was actually coached by my dad when he was in high school. And so there's just a lot of chemistry there. A lot of hard work went in. I was pretty much training like a collegiate athlete in high school. I had a lot of ground to cover. Like I said, four times state qualifier. Didn't get to place my first couple of years. Just hadn't figured a couple things out. Placed fourth my junior year, and then put everything together and won it all my senior year. Definitely went into college with some momentum riding off of that. I was very pumped up. Like I said, from Colorado, I wrestled in a smaller division, but didn't get a whole lot of looks at the bigger schools, at the bigger collegiate level, like Division I and stuff. But there's this guy named Jason Ramsetter. He was my college coach. Love that guy. He gave me a call after I won state and asked me to come check things out. And it felt like home right away, and went there and just kept the same attitude, just work hard. And I love what I do. I loved training back then, and I love it now. So it was an easy decision to end up at Adams State for me.
Well, I'm glad that it was such a great fit for you and the coach, and obviously super cool about your high school. And it's a bit of a shame at times when smaller programs don't get the looks, but obviously Division II, you had a great time. I can see all the hardware. I know that's the NCAA trophies
Yeah.
in the background there. So talk us through what's the hardware behind you.
So a couple of those are regional titles, and then a couple of those are just like my All Americans, my national championships. I think I have a sixth place finish, a third place finish, and then I have my national title, and then my fourth All American. It was the NCAA or NWCA All American. That was the year of COVID, so we didn't get any hardware for that. But then the other three are all regional titles, and then you can't see it, but I have my state championship medal up there. Just like I said, I'm going
Yeah.
into MMA, looking to have a big wall one day full of hardware, and so this is just the start. I hope to, 10 years down the road, have a couple belts. Who knows? Who knows what kind of hardware I'm going to have? And I know I'll definitely be expanding on this, but I got a whole bookcase back home full of hardware too from all the years of PB wrestling, high school wrestling. So just going to keep it rolling. So definitely blessed with all that hardware. A lot of hard work though, but more to be done. So.
Yeah, that is cool. And it makes sense that you still have your state championship because that kind of was the culmination of all your middle school, elementary school, high school work, and then it propelled you. Let's talk about how you ended up, because I don't know. How did you end up at America Top Team Happy Valley, which is probably most famous for having Bo Nickel training out of there, the three-time national Division I champ out of Penn State, four-time placer since he was a freshman. He finished second. So how'd that all come together? How long have you been at ATT Happy Valley? Let's start talking about that. You graduated from college in 23. So did you get right into it? Walk us through that.
So after my senior year of college wrestling, I had to get surgery on my knee. Did a little bit of damage to it during my senior year. The year I placed third, got that fixed up, and then as soon as that was fixed and I was ready to rock, came out here, checked the gym out. I am managed by First Round Management,
Mhm.
and they manage a couple of their guys manage Bo Nickel as well. So they got us in contact. Came out here, checked it out back in July. It was a perfect fit. I love the team. I love the culture. It's not just about the name of the gym that you're training at or who's training in the gym. It's a lot of it has to do with the coaching and the culture. And it was just kind of right up my alley. Like I said, it felt like home. Um, got a lot of potential at this gym. It's still up and coming, still growing. So it was something that I saw myself fitting into very, very well. And then I ended up moving out here late or early September, and since then just been training hard. And I think what's that now, 6, 7 months that I've been out here training hard. And when I was back in Colorado, I was still doing some training as well, just kind of between my pops and I, and then still wrestling a lot with the college guys and stuff, just staying in shape, taking care of myself, as soon as I got healed up and rolling after that surgery.
Well, it sounds like you're all in the sense that you moved out to be where you are, where you're training for your gym. You're going to be making your debut. We've kind of held off. I wanted to get to your history, so I appreciate that. We had talked beforehand that we're going to cover a lot in this interview, and then I hope to follow you through your career, where it can be more just focused fight to fight. But you have a huge debut coming up for 247 Fighting Championship Brawl in the Burgh 21, April 20th, exactly a month from the day. Really awesome to have you on.
Yes,
A month
sir.
out from the day, so it's pretty exciting. It's going to be the Pittsburgh area. It's actually going to be at a great casino in Cannonsburg, the Meadows Casino. How did this fight come together? And let's start talking about you being a month out from making your debut in MMA.
I've been training hard since I came out here. Been picking things up. Got great coaches. They know exactly how to get me what I need, and great training partners. Obviously, I'm surrounded by guys like Bo Nickel, Anthony Cassar. We got a guy named Musa Al Lamani. I hope I said that right. But those three dudes are kind of paving the way for the rest of us. They show us that you gotta, work hard, take this serious, take it like a professional would. And so I've just been kind of trying to follow in their footsteps and stuff. And coach was like, "Hey, I think you're ready to fight. Let's start looking." We started looking, had a couple shows, had a couple pop up that were pretty short notice, and then caught wind of this one. And when we caught wind of it, it was about 2 weeks ago, or yeah, 2 weeks ago. So I gave me about 6 weeks to prepare. Was perfect. The dude's 2-0. He's a tough guy. It's perfect for me to get out there and get my feet wet with, and just see what I'm made of. And perfect way to kick off my career by knocking off someone else's right. It's 2-0. So
It's perfect.
coming in there to make them 2-1.
As a Division II national champ, you're not going to take on an 0-0 guy. That's just not going to happen due to the fact
Exactly.
that you got to have somebody like J.R. Casales, who obviously as 2-0, he's got skills. Credit to him, and he's willing to test himself against the guy. It's kind of a rough task for him because he's but confidence to him. For you, what has been, because there's so many levels and aspects of MMA. Clearly, you're a very top collegiate athlete. Outside of the wrestling, what have you enjoyed learning the most? Has it been the Muay Thai, the kickboxing, the Jiu-Jitsu? What has been kind of the aspect that you love learning the most? And what has been maybe the biggest learning curve as you jump into MMA?
I would say the boxing. The striking has definitely been one of the biggest learning curves. It's a little bit different pace than wrestling. I love the jujitsu. Obviously, it's super fun. It fits perfectly right in with wrestling. So there's a learning curve there, but it's not as steep as the one when it comes to striking. But um, like I said, we got some great coaches in the gym, and the way that they teach us striking, how to understand the science behind it, why we're doing every little detail that we're doing. The attention to detail in the striking is something that especially recently, is something that I've actually been becoming infatuated with. It's very interesting to me. I felt like I understood wrestling to a T, to a science. Every little detail of it. It's what I did for 20 years. So that was my thing. And so now that I'm getting to apply that same mindset to striking, to the boxing, the kickboxing, the Muay Thai, um, I mean, it's really interesting to me. I have a coach. His name's Coach Tom. That's what we call him. He's a 3-time world champion in Muay Thai. So I'm learning from him. We got a guy in the gym. I talked about him earlier. His name's Moose, but he's a national champion boxer, and so he understands boxing pretty much the way I understand wrestling. We got guys like Bo Nickel who wrestled at an even higher level than me. So there's some things I'm picking up from him and Anthony Cassar, you know, and then my jiu-jitsu coach, he's a world champion in jiu-jitsu as well. His name's Coach Barbosa, you know. I think you say it, Ayutan Barbosa, but no, like I said, there's definitely a learning curve there. You know, you can't just jump in overnight and become a world champion, become a great fighter, can walk in off of 2 weeks notice and fight. No, nobody's gonna do that. But definitely been enjoying the striking aspect of it and just understanding it a little bit more, you know, and understanding that hey, it's not just two dudes walking out there swinging, putting their heads down, chin down, and just slugging. You know, there's setups, there's timing to it. It's definitely a form of art. So it's been real cool to kind of see that, especially in the recent weeks.
Yeah, and you're also talking about a pretty quick development time frame. A lot of people may not know that it's very typical for somebody to, let's say, start training MMA and take a couple years to take their first fight. Obviously, your wrestling base is so good. You mentioned, a little bit ago that you're training like a professional athlete and mindset. Your training regimen, and that obviously helps quite a bit. The fact that you can do this. What do you want to see out of yourself on April 20th? I know it's not just going to be get the win, because clearly you're a thoughtful guy. You've been at the wrestling, mountain, both at high school for states all 4 years, a bunch at the national level for Adams State. So kind of what's the mental prep and what do you expect out of yourself April 20th at Brawl in the Burgh 21 for 247 Fighting Championships?
You know, I look to go out there and execute my game plan perfectly to a T. You know, when it came to college wrestling, I didn't just go out there and hope. I went out there with a plan and I executed, and hence why I got the results I got. And same thing with this fight. You know, if it stays on the feet, I hope to make it feel like a fish out of water, make him feel real uncomfortable. And if he wants to take it to the ground, that's my world too. You know, and so I'm going out there to execute my game plan and just be 100% dominant in all aspects of the game.
Well, that sounds exactly what I'd expect. Somebody with your pedigree, where you're currently training, the fact that you gave, and obviously that's how you get to be the best. You give all the respect to your coaches. It's all about buying into the game plan and the development. And there's going to be a lot of development, obviously, from September till now when you fight in a month. Then there's a lot of development between every amateur fight. We always say in the amateur ranks that between every amateur fight, you should look like a completely different fighter. Every amateur fight, and then your first couple pro fights, you should look like you're, just leveling up over and over again. So it's really super. It's really super exciting. Being the fact that you're from Colorado, I want to give a shout out to the fact that there'll be a pay per view at 247fighting.com, or the best option is to download the app. 247 Fighting Championships actually has its own app on any device. You can download 247 Live, and then you can get either a one-time pay-per-view for people to watch you, or they can actually go ahead and get the subscription like you would any subscription. Then you get unlimited pay-per-views for the year, as well as the entire catalog of every fight. So it's really cool. Speaking of who's going to be there for you, who's coming out, who do you expect as a fan support your corner come April 20th? You're a month out. Have you made a game plan for who's making the trip from Happy Valley?
We haven't really talked about a game plan yet. I expect both my all of my coaches there, you know, Coach Tong, Coach Barbosa. I expect that they'll be there. Our striking coach, or the boxing coach, you know, he's also an MMA fighter himself. Hopefully he can make it down there too. You know, I'm expecting a lot of the guys to be able to make it. I don't know if you know this too, but it's the Olympic trials weekend that weekend.
Did not put that
So
together.
some
No.
of the guys are going to be there, you know, coaching some of their buddies. But I'm hoping, yeah, all the guys from the gym can make it. As many as we have training, I hope they all make it. But if they don't, I mean, no sweat off my back. You know, we're a family at the end of the day. That Olympic trials team, you know, the Penn State guys like Bo and Anthony, they got some dudes that they got to be there for too. You know, so like I said, if they're not there in person, I know they're there in spirit and they're watching, cheering me on. So I'm hoping to just have their support, whether it's near or far. And same thing with all the rest of the guys from the gym. And I know I have some people coming out from Colorado, got some family members, some friends, my old wrestling coach from college, both of my old wrestling coaches from college, my high school coach. So I got plenty of people coming to support, you know, definitely more than I thought would be able to make the trip across the country, especially since most of my fan base is on the West Coast.
Yeah, yeah, that is incredible. And obviously you're going to be encouraging in spirit all the guys out of ATT Happy Valley that are going to the Olympic trials. And that's what I think is super cool, that any good gym, particularly MMA, is going to have people competing in jiu-jitsu, any of the elements, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, you mentioned it. So you end up becoming a fan not only of MMA, but you end up becoming a fan of like 6 different martial arts disciplines. Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, you're like, what? And then of course you're already big in wrestling. So that is just super, super exciting. It's been really great having you on, and 247 puts on a great show. Obviously, you're going to be a big part of that, making your debut. I always ask if you want to make a prediction. You have talked about the fact that your game plan is to make him feel like a fish out of water and potentially show off your striking. And then, of course, if it goes to the ground, great, because that's your world. Do you want to make a prediction? Or if not, what are your shout outs, sponsors, gratitude, people you want to thank coming into this big debut?
Just expect to finish April 20th. That's the only prediction I want to give. I want to shout out all my friends and family. This has been a long time coming. This is the start of the next chapter, and I want you guys to know that I have all your guys' support behind me. You guys keep me going day in, day out. This ain't an easy life, but it's the life I chose, and I'm ready to live each day through and through. So just want to thank you guys again. Keep supporting me. Keep an eye out. Like I said, we're gonna take over everything. So this is just a start.
Well, it's just the start for your MMA career, and hopefully it's just the start for you being on MMA Fancast. Thanks so much for taking time out to jump on. Happy 30 days out, exactly a month out from your big debut at Brawl in the Burgh 21 for 247 Fighting Championship. My name has been and still has been, I'm Luke Payson, and I've had on the 2022 Division II National Wrestling Champ, Noah. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care. Best
Yeah,
skills to
you
you.
as
Can't
well.
wait to see you on the 20th.
Yes, sir. See you on the 20th.